The Discover Ulster-Scots Centre was opened in winter 2014 to explore and examine the rich historical, cultural and linguistic connections between the province of Ulster and Scotland. At their closest point, Scotland and Ulster are separated by approximately 13 miles of sea between the Mull of Kintyre and Torhead in County Antrim. This narrow stretch of water has been a link rather than a barrier for thousands of years and has been a conduit for the transmission of people, language, religion and cultural traditions. The Discover Ulster-Scots Centre has permanent displays and free literature detailing some of the most significant historical events and personalities involved in the Ulster Scots story. The Bruce Campaign in Ireland, 1315. A year after his decisive victory against the English at Bannockburn, Robert the Bruce sent his younger brother Edward to Ulster with a large Scottish army in 1315, with the aim of opening a second front against the English. Edward was crowned as the High King of Ireland at Carrickfergus, and the brothers received support from many of the Gaelic chieftains. Ultimately, the campaign ended in failure after 3 years of warfare across the island, when Edward was eventually killed at the Battle of Faughart in 1318. The Hamilton and Montgomery settlement. In 1606, two Ayrshire Scots, James Hamilton and Hugh Montgomery, received large grants of many thousands of acres in County Down, which became known as the Hamilton and Montgomery settlement. Both men recruited tenants from the Scottish lowlands to move to Ulster to farm their newly acquired land. This plan proved to be a huge success, with hundreds of Scottish families arriving and settling in East Ulster, introducing new surnames, Lowland Scots language, and farming methods and practices. Many new towns and villages were established by these new settlers, one of the largest being Newtownards. The success of this private settlement of Scots into Ulster in 1606 encouraged King James's official Plantation of Ulster in 1610. The Plantation of Ulster. The most important link between Scotland and Ulster, and indeed in the story of the Ulster Scots, is the Plantation of Ulster. This was a major movement of thousands of Scots into Ulster which began around 1610. The Plantation of Ulster was a deliberate and ambitious attempt by King James I to plant loyal, tax-paying English and Scottish subjects into Ulster and solve the problem of this rebellious province once and for all. Of the 9 counties of Ulster, 6 were included in the official plantation. The Scots arrived in great numbers, outnumbering English settlers in most areas of the province. They came mainly from the lowlands of Scotland, with the largest wave of immigration taking place in the latter years of the 17th century, following the Battle of the Boyne, when tens of thousands of Scots arrived in Ulster following famine across much of Scotland. Today, Ulster Scots are the descendants of the folk who came from Scotland and made their home in Ulster in the early 1600s, during the Plantation of Ulster and all throughout the 17th century. However, today the term also refers to the many people who identify themselves as Ulster Scots through their participation in a modern, vibrant and flourishing culture, or via an affiliation with the Ulster Scots linguistic tradition or religious heritage. The Discover Ulster-Scots Centre also acts as a venue for Ulster Scots cultural activity, such as traditional music sessions, piping and drumming workshops, Scottish country dancing and Highland dance displays, cookery demonstrations, historical talks and lectures, and courses in Ulster Scots history and language. There is also a small gift shop which sells history books, DVDs and CDs, and items such as tartan clothing and kilt pins.